Hi, lovely and darling viewers. This time I'm reviewing the Mighty Thor comics from 2016 on. These are Marvel, and art and writing on these are by Jason Aaron, Russell Dauterman, Matthew Wilson, and VC's Joe Sabino. Yeah. And this is a really long fold out cover with like all of the Thor characters, basically. All of them, even ones that didn't appear in this issue. So I'm wondering if all these guys are going to show up later in the series or if this is just taunting us. Who knows? We will have to read on to find out, I guess. So I have read issue 1 and issue 2, and these revolve around the female Thor. So in Thor from 2015, we had Odin's son looking at who this female Thor was, who's gained the power of Mjolnir, and it turned out to be pretty awesome. If you guys have not read those series yet and you don't know who the female Thor is and you don't want to be spoiled, then sayonara. I love you guys. I'll post the link to my review for that series down below. Check that one out and check out those comics first. And if you already know who the female Thor is, then ta-da! This is a continuation and we get to really explore what's going on because of that now. So, last chance if you don't want to be spoiled. So we have Jane Foster here, and she is simultaneously going through chemotherapy and just all the complications that happen when you have cancer and are dying. And on top of that, she is also Thor. She has Mjolnir, and Mjolnir's thing is whoever be the. I can read it off the hammer. Whoever holds this hammer, if she be worthy, shall possess the power of Thor. So Jane is worthy and has gotten the power of Thor from the previous Thor, Odin's son, the Prince of Asgard, and her former boyfriend. And when he found out that she was Thor, he vanished. And he's dealing with some stuff, and we don't really know what's going on because he's incredibly absent from these comics. Which in one way is cool because we get to see Jane's story and what she thinks and feels about being Thor and how she deals with it. But it's also kind of like this big gaping hole of like what happened to the other Thor. And I know he vanished in the end of the last series, so like it's not a huge shock, but it feels kind of strange. The thing about Jane having cancer that makes this really interesting is that Mjolnir is like giving her extra powers and giving her super strength and stuff, but in the process, it's also undoing the chemotherapy. Like, it's undoing the chemo she's undergoing. So whenever she transforms into Thor, it like strengthens her and kills off bad things like the chemo, which is technically a poison, and Mjolnir gets rid of the poison, but it sees the cancer as a part of her, so it doesn't kill the cancer. So every time she transforms into Thor, she kind of just makes it so she's dying faster, which is kind of this double-edged sword. Like, she's saving other people's lives and getting to do amazing things, but at the cost of her life. So that's kind of this big gray cloud that's hovering over these comics in the series. So not so great. But getting to see Jane's take on what it is to be Thor and what that power means, what having that power means, and how she deals with it is really cool. There is a war going on in these comics, a war between the Dark Elves and the Light Elves, and Jane is part of this like congress of like all the realms. She represents Earth, and she's like the senator from Earth and stuff, and represents us. And she's going up against all these other realms, the other 9 realms, and they are kind of scared to take action. So like the Light Elves are begging for help, and the Dark Elves are like, "Hey, you can't prove anything. It's not us. What are you talking about?" And everybody's too afraid to take action because they're afraid of retribution from Odin. And Odin is kind of missing. And not missing in the way that like Thor's missing and nobody knows where he is, but like missing, he's preoccupied with other stuff and he's like in the castle. But he's also kind of omnipresent and his like he's Odin the Allfather and he knows everything and he has spies. And so there's always this sense of like Odin breathing down her neck and like trying to control the situation, and Jane making the choice to like defy him and go help the Late Elves and interfere for the sake of helping people. Yeah. In these comics, we also have kind of this weird balance where there are a few really close friends who know or seem to know that Jane is Thor, but they can't actually come right out and say it because of Odin's listening ears and the fact that Odin is hunting the imposter Thor, this fake Thor. He doesn't know it's Jane. He doesn't know who this Thor is. He just knows that this Thor has taken his son's power, and Odin is pissed. So Jane's gotta kind of keep it on the down low that she's Thor. And also in this mix we have Loki, because there's no Thor without Loki, Loki without Thor, and Loki shows up and he offers to help the bad guys. Whether or not Loki is one of the bad guys or whether or not Loki has his own agenda is kind of unknown because it's Loki. So I can't wait to find out what happens with this. And I really hope that Loki ends up being one of the good guys, or at least kind of a neutral person. I would hate to have gone through all those Loki Agent of Asgard comics and him like discovering who he is and all this stuff and having this newfound appreciation for his powers, only to just get sucked into helping the bad guys again. Come on, Loki. Be the good guy. Believe in you, Loki. There's my review for the Thor comics from 2016. Let me know in the comments below what you guys have thought of these if you've read them. And how do you think Jane's doing as Thor? I think she's doing a kick-ass awesome job of it, despite the fact that she is facing some pretty major challenges. But she's my girl. Way to go, Jane Foster. Peace out. I love you guys, and keep reading. Bye.